Our first speaker tonight will be one that the staff at Sequim High School elected, and that is Mr. Evan Hill.
Good evening. My name is Evan Hill, and I am your staff elected speaker for tonight. While writing this speech, the night before it needed to be turned in, like oh so many assignments in the past 4 years, I still had absolutely no idea what I was going to talk about. As I was pulling out my hair, staring at a blank Word document, I started to think about what made our school unique. First, I pondered the staff. How many other schools have a principal that rides a Harley to school? How about a former running back lit teacher who does puppet shows and talks like this, kids, etc., etc., etc. By the way, if there's any non-seniors out here, I highly recommend trying to trick him into saying bubbly. What about a former professional football player who is one bro of a history teacher? Okay, it was Canadian football, sorry, eh? Or a chemistry teacher who blows up 10-gallon jugs in his classroom. I wonder how he lost his hair. Or a biology teacher whose most prized possession is a goat with two faces. A government teacher who can write his name in Korean. How many schools have staff that can dance to Thriller? Well, kinda. How about a male counselor who can do the splits? A band teacher who's in the Hall of Fame? A math teacher who is literally Mr. Chill, and that is not trivial. Although our staff isn't perfect, whose idea was it to hire a former Rough Rider as our athletic director? No, it's okay, Mr. Dillison. We don't hold it against you. Besides, we destroyed PA in just about every sport this year anyways. Now that I think about it, our generation might just be as unique. We've had state champions, all-state musicians, and a class of 3.4 million scholarships. We got students going from Stanford to Wake Forest to Montana to Santa Clara. More locally, we've got people going to Gonzaga, Central, Western, Eastern, PLU, and at least 6 more Cougs. And there's some Huskies, too. All in all, I'd say our school is pretty awesome. Sadly, the time has come to leave SHS and venture off on our own quest for uniqueness. Maybe Patrick will someday become a world-renowned Nibiru player / painter. Maybe Jeremy will become a full-time pirate or bear. Maybe Lorenzo will cure cancer or something. Maybe Frank will be a pro football player, and maybe Zach Springer will be his agent. Maybe Byron and Mike will create MyFace Plus. Maybe Matt Parker will be a magician someday in Vegas. And maybe Mac will end world hunger and succeed in creating world peace. As long as we try our hardest doing what we love, whatever it may be, we will be successful. Although I'm sure most of us are ready to get out of here, I can't help feeling that this place will always be a part of us. I think I speak for the senior class when I say that we are going to miss our exceptional staff, the football and basketball games, the dances, the spirit days, the assemblies, and maybe even a class or two. But most of all, I think we will miss the friendships that we have formed in these last few years. A lot of us are going to new schools where we will have crazy new teachers, new sports teams to watch, new insane antics in our classes, and new friendships. However, that doesn't mean that we can't remember the great times we had here. We can always relive them. It doesn't mean we can't look back at the staff that got us here tonight. We can come back and visit. And it certainly doesn't mean that we can't hold on to our old friendships. That's what summer's for. I just want to thank Sequim High for all the hours spent, the effort put forth, and the love given that helped prepare us for a bright future and helped shape us into the talented class that you see before you graduate tonight. Thank you.
Sequim High School has 3 valedictorians, all earning a perfect 4.0 grade point average. The first one speaking tonight will be Mr. Lorenzo Gonzalez.
Lorenzo Gonzalez. I owe all of my successes in life to my father. He did pay me to say that. So I would like to preface this speech with an anecdote from Seinfeld. As Jerry Seinfeld once observed, public speaking is the average American's #1 fear. Death is number 2. Death is number 2. So no matter how poorly this speech ends up going, please don't criticize, because most of you would rather be dead than standing here. Also, this speech has been geared to appeal to a highly intelligent audience, so if you don't like it, well, you should probably keep that to yourself. So anyway, graduation speeches, so far as I can tell, are supposed to be trite compilations of words such as thankful and bittersweet and friendship, which in the end come together into some sort of rhetorical jumble from which listeners will glean some deeper meaning. My speech will contain none of those words. And if I am quite honest, it will have no meaning whatsoever. As you may have guessed, in my speech I will deeply explore the human experience. Then I will compare that experience to the life cycle of a chicken through various analogies. Let me begin. You may be asking yourself questions like, for example, why would you pick chickens? To which I would respond, please don't ask questions. For one obvious reason, chickens progress through life a lot like people. They start out cute and cuddly, and then quickly get pretty gross and really sort of stay that way. Second, have you ever seen a chicken, look at things? It is absolutely, unequivocally clear that a chicken has no hope of ever understanding its surroundings. And from our perspective as humans, those chickens seem pretty dumb. But ultimately, we're a lot like them. Well, I can say with confidence that every person on this stage is more intelligent than even the smartest of chickens. Well, yeah, probably, but much in the same way as chickens, none of us can ever hope to fully understand the intricate workings of the world. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that from one perspective or another, we're all pretty dumb. And so as long as I'm already taking an incredibly unconventional path through this speech, let's just keep going and talk about something that's usually excluded from commencement addresses: death. Every chicken that has ever lived has died. And a large majority of those have been eaten. And while I sincerely hope that that second part never happens to any of you, the first part holds an immense amount of gravity in the fact that it will undoubtedly happen to all of us. The scary truth is that, in the end, whether you are a human or a really stupid domesticated bird, everyone will die. All right, so now let's take a step back and look at what we've been through together in the past 2.5 minutes. Rather than using the conventional speech vocabulary, we use words like incredibly gross, stupid, and death. I directly insulted your intelligence. We explored motifs such as cannibalism and the oversaturation of the domestic broccoli market. Wait, no, I was going to add that in later, sorry. Ignore that. So anyway, what did we learn? Well, I think that the messages that we can really take most away from here are that Lorenzo Gonzalez is an excellent public speaker, and that death is scary. But you know what? I know for a fact that statistically speaking, not even death is scarier than standing here and talking to all of you. And to be honest, I really enjoyed myself, so I think we're going to be all right. Thanks, class of 2012. You guys are pretty cool.
In 2005, Sequim High School started a new tradition for graduation, calling it the U-Turn Award. We had a speaker that year, a motivational speaker came, and he was one of those strongman guys, and he bent this bar, and at that time Bill O'Brien was working at Sequim High School, who taught there for about 30 years, and he brought it into my office, and he said, hey, this kind of looks like a U, how about, and his message is all about people who turn around, so why don't we start a U-turn award? So we have, and it's become one of the highlights of our graduation program. I asked for nominations from our staff. We meet as administrators and counselors and select a U-turn award winner. The 2012 U-turn award winner goes to Miss Allison Little Dog. As Allison's coming up, I'm going to read some of the things that our staff wrote about Allison Little Dog. I was lucky enough to work with Allison and the Link Crew last year, and we had lots of our good little Indian chats together. Mr. Hosford wrote this. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Allison. She's a thoughtful, strong young woman who is deserving of this recognition. In digital, she was often absent but worked hard to stay up with her work and pass the class with a good grade. At that time, she had many difficult things going on in her life, but she managed to conquer those obstacles. I had the privilege of getting to know Allison on a level where she felt comfortable confiding in me and was courageous enough to ask me for some guidance. She struggled, but with everything going on, got a good job at the casino and made sure her credits were in order for graduation. Throughout, she remained positive and seemed to meet challenges head-on while continuing to learn from her past. I have no doubt she will succeed after making a U-turn to her current path. Well done. Mr. Lorenzen wrote this. I'm happy to hear Allison Little Dog is going to receive this award. She's been such a trooper in select choir this year. She has a passion for music and performing. She has always been committed to excellence even when dealing with difficult personal issues. She is steady and focused and has been a wonderful role model for the younger students of the program. You come up here, Laura. I'm not going to look at her because I'll start crying, so that's probably good. She successfully juggled her school and work schedules with an often demanding rehearsal schedule and even managed to be one of our featured dancers in our final Broadway review. Most important, Allison is a warm and generous spirit, a wonderful sense of humor, and is admired by her peers and all of the adults in her life. Congratulations. Mr. Young wrote this. Allison Little Dog, who for years has graciously put up with me calling her Allison Tiny Puppy, has matured into a motivated and conscientious young lady. Certainly she is still a bit feisty, and she is never afraid to tell it like it is, but she has conquered significant challenges to graduate with flying colors, and in the process, she has blossomed into a pleasant, positive young adult who could serve as an inspiration to us all. Mr. Ecoff's got a great one. He was working at Port Angeles and had Allison. I was teaching in Port Angeles when Allison arrived in my 10th grade English class. She immediately impressed me with her willingness to be involved in class. She was a happy, engaged student. One day after she assumed it was safe to let the cigarette out, she told me that she had been a student in my wife's class in swim. She also admitted that she hadn't always been on the path for success, but wanted to get a new start. She did very well in my class, but she kept doing something very dangerous. She kept wearing a Sequim purple high school sweatshirt. It was always easy to spot Allison in a crowd while she was at PA. At assemblies, there was Allison wearing her Sequim high school sweatshirt. Like a ray of purple light amidst an ugly sea of green. I shouldn't do that. Allison stood out then, and tonight she is standing out again. She is evidence that hard work and reaching for goals can put anyone on a path to success. And finally, Bev Moran, who is one of our school boards and runs our Indian Ed program. Since I have known Allison Little Dog since 3rd grade, it's especially important for me to share that if ever there was a turnaround, this young lady has made it. Allison has always been good at school stuff, but not great at getting work done and getting it in. She also was pretty good at staying home or choosing not to stay at school. During middle school, Allison was sure that she knew all the answers to life and that adults knew very few. Before she was 18, she faced losses that no one that young should ever have to deal with. She was placed in foster care in Port Angeles and there began a different path. Her foster mom taught her boundaries, responsibility, and set high expectations for her. Allison flourished. She has worked most of the last 2 years as a service person at the casino and has gone to school faithfully, excelling in many of her classes. She's in choir this year and has been one of the greatest, and that has been one of the greatest experiences she has had. She was really behind in credits, but not only did she get caught up, but will graduate on time with her class tonight. No matter when I have spoken to her or seen her at work, she has always smiled and been so pleased with any encouragement or help I could offer. She hopes to go on to Peninsula in the fall and is very honest about her choices and setbacks, but how perseverance and hard work can get you where you want to go. The 2012 U-Turn Award winner, Allison the Dog. Our second valedictorian to speak tonight is Miss Sarah Marble.
Hey man, did you hear about Hallie and Essie? They're not friends anymore. What? I thought they were BFFs. No, I guess Cassie wouldn't give back Hallie's golf towel, so that's over. Although exaggerated, this scenario is seen commonly throughout high school with relationships in constant fluctuation. To quote Mr. Rapperjay, everything actually needed in life you've learned by the 4th grade. By 4th grade, you know how to read, write, do basic math, and wipe your own butt. Past that, most things are really unnecessary. That said, relationships have been my greatest teachers when it comes to life skills. There are also things that have brought me the most confusion. It strikes me as incredibly ridiculous how someone can turn from a close friend into nothing more than somebody that you used to know. In the real world, this whole process usually takes about a year to commence. In high school, this whole process can complete and flip back in one day. It's sad to me that we've all spent 4 years learning, laughing, and loving together, and after 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, most of us will never see one another again. In fact, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I can count the number of people here that I'm going to really stay in touch with on one hand. So why then do we continue to love and to build all these relationships that we know won't last? This question has been the director of many hours within my wandering mind. The best answer I can come up with is that it doesn't matter how, when, or if a relationship meets its death. The end has no meaning compared to the influence of the relationship while in existence. Every relationship you have, whether it be a best friend or the boy who sits behind you that you never really got to know, brings something to your life. A new perspective, a question that has never occurred to you, or some really great fashion tips. They all contribute to shaping who you are today. Be grateful for all the relationships you've had in high school, no matter how or if they end, because without them, you may not be here. We are now at a place where we can look forward to all our relationships to come in the next stages of our lives. But never forget the people who brought you here.
Before we bring Julie up here, I want to take a second to recognize 2 of the Sequim High School staff that are retiring tonight for their last graduation ceremony. So, Miss Barb Cooper, would you please stand up right there? Barb Cooper has been teaching for 20 years in our district. And also, Martha Rudensdorf is retiring tonight also. The class of 2012 gets to select one speaker, and they picked a good one tonight, so hold on. They have selected Miss Julie Berner.
Hello, everyone. Lovely weather we're having, huh? Pretty excited it's not raining. Yeah, good stuff. All right. Oh, there's my brother. Love you, Garrett. Before I get started here, a little shout out to my bros. Yeah. Stay steezy. Love you, Mom. Grandma, everybody here. Let's get started. All right. Hold on. Okay. Have you ever woke from a dream that was so outrageously random and literally impossible that you wonder how in the world your imagination could possibly conjure up such a wild adventure? Well, Turns out it happened last night, and it went a little something like this. I found myself lost in a dark alley, way in the middle of Sequim. Sweating and confused, I looked beside me and realized a picture of my best friend, Chelsea Mims. Attached is a sticky note that reads, "Got swag?" This could only mean one thing. Chelsea had been kidnapped! I jumped off the street higher than Zachary Hovis at the Scholarship Notebook Award ceremony. I ran towards where I remembered parking my car last, but it wasn't there. Instead, there sat the Batmobile with keys in the ignition and Jane Dawkins dressed as Robin in the passenger seat. She shot me the one-eye, she shot me the one eyebrow stare, and I knew she could only be one place. The Batcave! Okay. The only catch was the Batmobile couldn't drive any slower than 55! So as soon as we pulled onto the street, we spot Team Ramrod, aka rookie officers Clay Charlie and Cody Field, trying to catch us riding dirty. So we engaged the invisibility shield and disappeared into the horizon. Before we know it, Robin and I have arrived at the Batcave, but something seems terribly wrong. We could hear the faint sound of whale moans, or maybe it was just dubstep. We tiptoe our way to the back of the cave when the secret lair door swings open in front of us. We are blinded by a bright white light, and there stands a man with long hair reaching out towards us. Could it be the Almighty? The bright light dims in a matter of seconds, and before stands us. Oh wait, it's just Jared Russell. We walk in and realize we've joined the class of 2012 on the set of Wildin' Out with our host, Nick Ramirez. He pulls me up on stage and I do a quick short shout out. Ain't no party like a Nick Ramirez party, cause a Nick Ramirez party don't stop. I hopped off stage, turned my swag on, took a look in the mirror and said, "What's up?" That's when I knew she must be close. All of a sudden, everyone formed a circle, and in the center was Patrick McCready breakdancing to "I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my..." Luckily, I was standing right behind Evan Hill so I could see the whole routine. Just then, I spot Chelsea Mims and Ian Robinson across the crowd. So I snake my way over to the two and say, "Excuse me, baking powder? I've been looking for you fools everywhere." Ian replies, "The note we left was pretty self-explanatory." Unexpectedly, we all hear the ear-piercing sound, something like nails on a chalkboard. Beep, beep, beep. At first I thought it was Kristen Pfeiffer's voice. When I realized the Batcave was going to self-destruct in 3, 2, 1. My eyes opened and I realized it was all just a silly dream. Okay. But I want you guys to listen closely to what I'm about to say, because this is serious. If you can be successful in combining your rational waking life with the infinite possibilities of your dreams, you can surely do anything. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is to believe you are alive, when really you are asleep in life's waiting room. Life really is a trip. Miracles and things people said were impossible happen every day. So, never forget your dreams, but rather follow them, no matter how crazy or far-fetched they may seem. Anything is possible when you live the life you love, follow your heart, and do what makes you happy. And that is exactly what living the dream is all about. Last but not least, I believe in life we find ourselves so caught up in the past or the future that we forget about today. Never hesitate to tell the ones you love how much they really need you. Granny, family, love you guys. Yeah, I love my brother, he's so cool. Anyways, that's why it's up to you to make every moment count, because you never know if you'll awake to see the sunrise. In the wise words of my lovely friend Autumn Kessinger, you will never be able to relive yesterday, yet we are never guaranteed tomorrow. So, embrace the moment, take advantage of every opportunity, never let anyone or anything hold you back from your dreams, and most importantly, live for today, because each breath can truly satisfy. Thank you.